I'm not meant to be a book reader. Hey there, what's up? So today I'm doing another kind of different video that I've ever done, but I love watching these kind of videos on YouTube, and it's just something different that I'm trying out, and so I hope you guys like it. But yeah, so what I'm doing is books that I have been obsessed with in the last month and a half. There are 3 books that I have been absolutely obsessed with lately, and I wanted to share them because I think that everybody should know about these books and read them, especially if you're into young adult fiction, because I'm not a big non-fiction fan. I'm much more of a fiction fan, and these are definitely young adult fiction books, but they are these 3 books right here, and I am just absolutely obsessed with them. I read each of them in the course of a couple of days, each, and they are just so amazing. So I'm just gonna read you guys the synopsis of these and just introduce you guys to these books because they are so amazing, and just everybody needs to read these books. So the first one that I just wanted to share with the world, or whoever is watching these videos, is The Looking Glass Wars. Now, this one is, if you are really into Alice in Wonderland at all, this book is amazing, and I'm decently sure there are more, it's a series, but I don't know if they're out yet. It says, turn the page for a special preview of the next book in the Looking Glass Wars trilogy, Seeing Red. I've only read the first book, but I kind of want to move on to the other books that I'm reading. It's still an amazing book, so I'm just going to read a little bit of the back so that way you kind of get an idea, because I'm awful at explaining synopsises. I'm terrible at describing stuff with books because my mind just jumps to everything. I don't want to spoil anything, and I feel like the summaries on the back of these books are done best because they're made to not give anything away. It's their job to describe them this way. But it says, the myth. Alice Little was an ordinary girl who stepped through the looking glass and entered a fairy tale world invented by Lewis Carroll in his famous storybook, which I'm obsessed with. I grew up with Alice in Wonderland. I love Alice in Wonderland. And so then it says the truth, and it says, Wonderland is real. Alice Hart, and it's spelled A-L-Y-S-S, which is something that really confused me because I would see it and I would instantly want to say Alyssa, not Alice, because I'm used to Alice being A-L-I-C-E, but that kind of plays a role into the whole book too. So it says, Alice Hart is the heir to the throne until her murderous Aunt Red steals the crown and kills Alice's parents. To escape Red, Alice and her bodyguard Hatter Madigan, let's see where it's going with this, must flee to our world through the Pool of Tears. But in the pool, Alice and Hatter are separated. Lost and alone in Victorian London, Alice is befriended by an aspiring author to whom she tells the violent, heartbreaking story of her young life. Yet he gets the story all wrong. Hatter Madigan knows the truth only too well, and he is searching every corner of our world to find the lost princess and return her to Wonderland, so she may battle Red for her rightful place as the Queen of Hearts. What? This was so good, and it was so I'm not gonna lie, the first half of it was kind of just okay, come on, let's keep going. But it was so good, and especially if you love the Alice in Wonderland story, the way that they tie things in is so cool. So if you're definitely into that kind of fiction and you really like Alice in Wonderland or fantasy in that way, definitely look this one up. It was only $10, I think, and it was really, really, really good. So then the next one is called We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. Oh, the first one is by Frank Beddor, B-E-D-D-O-R. Yeah, I'll link them in the description box if you guys want to go and check them out. But this one, oh my gosh. Okay, I'm just gonna read the back, and then there's a little synopsis here that I'll read for you guys. It says, we were Sinclairs. No one is needy, no one is wrong. We live, at least in the summertime, on a private island off the coast of Massachusetts. Perhaps that is all we need to know, except that some of us are liars. It says, a beautiful and distinguished family, a private island. A brilliant, damaged girl, a passionate political boy, a group of 4 friends, the Liars, whose friendship turns destructive. A revolution, an accident, a secret, lies upon lies, true love, the truth. We Were Liars is a modern, sophisticated, suspenseful novel from National Book Award finalist and Prince Award honoree E. Lockhart. Read it, and if anyone asks how it ends, just lie. Okay, so this book, I was watching one of Zoella's book club books, and this was in it, and it was, I trust her book judgment so much, and so I got it, and I honestly did not like this book up until the last like 75 pages. It's very metaphorical, and it's kind of hard to follow sometimes if you're not used to reading that kind of a book, but the last 75 pages is amazing. It's a super quick read. It's not a super long book. The twists in it are just crazy, and it's so good, and it's just one of those where it's like a quick summer read because it's like in summertime and like taking place in summer, and it's so good, and I just really like it. Okay, so this last book, this one right here is my absolute, out of the 3, this one's my absolute favorite. I've never read a book where my jaw has actually dropped like while I'm reading it and gasped out loud while reading it. It's of course another fiction, as you can see, but I think it's called The Sin Eater's Daughter, and it is so good. And it's like there's some parts that are like super cheesy, but then it makes sense why it's super cheesy, and it's just very magical and very thrilling and very like crazy, and you like hate characters and then you love characters and then you want characters to work out but then you don't want them to work. It just, oh my gosh. So on the back all it says is, I am the perfect weapon, I kill with a single touch. So that was what sparked my interest, and the author is Melinda Salisbury, or Salisbury. Don't really know how to pronounce it, but on the inside I'll read you like this synopsis, and it says 17-year-old Twilla, I think that's how you pronounce it, it's Twylla, so I don't know if it's Twyla or Twilla. I say Twilla in my head when I was reading it. It says 17-year-old Twilla lives in the castle, but although she's engaged to the prince, Twilla isn't a member of the court. She's the executioner. As the goddess embodied, Twilla instantly kills anyone she touches. Each month, she's taken to the prison and forced to lay her hands on those accused of treason. Even the prince, whose royal blood supposedly makes him immune to Twilla's fatal touch, avoids her company. But then a new guard arrives, whose smile bellies, "I'm not meant to be a book reader," his deadly swordsmanship. And unlike the others, he's able to see the girl, not the goddess. Yet, Twilla has been promised to the prince and knows far too well what happens to people who cross the queen. However, a treasonous secret is the least of Twilla's problems. The queen has a plan to destroy her enemies, a plan that requires a stomach-churning, unthinkable sacrifice. Will Twilla do what it takes to protect her kingdom? Will she abandon her duty in favor of a doomed love? Melinda Salisbury introduces a world more beautiful and twisted than anything you can imagine, which will leave you awed, terrified, and desperate for more. I cannot agree with that more, because the second I put this book down and finished it, I wanted to order the second one, and I did. I had to wait a little bit for financial purposes, but as soon as I had the money, I ordered it, and it just arrived literally last night, but I'm going on a plane ride next week, and so I want it for the plane because I know I'll finish it on the plane. Again, this took me like 2.5-3 days to read, but that's also with me working, so it's just so good. It's so good. And like I said, like I've never had my jaw, like I was literally reading it and I was like like gasping, and I've never done that in a book before. So if a book can have you like literally on the edge of your seat as if it's in like a movie, like I could see everything so perfectly and I could imagine everything, and you think that the book's going one way, but then all of a sudden it's like another story. Like I went on 3 different journeys in this story, and it was so good, and I can't wait for the next one. And then the 3rd book doesn't even get released until October of this year. Like I didn't realize that this was such a recent book, And so I can't even wait. I can't even read the third book until October, but I plan on doing it, especially if the second book is as good as the first one, because sometimes I think trilogies, if they're done well, they flow really well and they're really good, and they're all like they're all their own books, even if they're part of a trilogy, if that makes sense. But okay, so that was books that I have been loving lately that you should definitely give a read if you are into young adult books or if you are into fiction. They are just amazing, amazing books. Definitely recommend. It's basically a recommendation video, but it was so good. I hope you guys enjoy. Let me know if anybody out there who's watching this has either read these books or is going to read these books, because they're so good and I want to talk to people about them. So go ahead and let me know, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.